In this world of constantly being on the forefront of people's minds, we're given a platform to present to people, to share with them our ideas and to onboard them onto our ideas so they can sometimes be part of our teams or even just buy from us, buy products and services that we're selling. Based on our experiences and knowing that we've solved the problem before for someone else, we want to do the same for other people. To why people will not buy. You'll get a no. You'll get many no's. You'll get some yeses as well. But the point is, some of these no's can be avoided. In fact, there's no such thing as a no. There's a maybe not right now, but later. However, in the interim, in order for you to have more yeses and to really make sure that the not right now, let's speak later conversations happen at a meaningful time, we need to make sure that we've encountered all the objections and counteracted them with the steps to make sure that we've answered the questions and we're not cutting our conversations short. And many times in sales, or even when I use the word sales, we constantly have conversations with our partners, with our children, with people that we interact with on a daily basis outside. And we're not physically trying to sell them our product or service, but we are selling them on a compelling idea, a new way to think about life, a new way to reframe things, a new way to see the world in a different place. Maybe the place that we're standing rather than the place they're standing. Regardless, in order for them to really understand what we're saying, we need to also take some steps to make sure they can hear what we're saying. And that's through looking at it as a sort of a more pragmatic type sense. And the way to do that is to obliterate all objections. So these are some of the steps that I've concluded works for me when I was selling business to business, and when I'm also leading a team of volunteers and they're not sure about which direction to go into. So let's begin. This is how to diffuse verbal objections. So these are the steps. The first thing you're going to have to do is listen to the entire thing. And this is sometimes a really obvious one, but sometimes common sense isn't common practice. When you listen to the entire thing, you allow the person space to really feel like they've been heard. And it's really important for them to feel like they're being heard, because when you don't listen, they're kind of like a mirror, and they're also not going to listen to anything you've got to say going forward. So you've got to give them the compassion and the room and the space to be able to have the floor and speak. We've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, and this whole listening thing really changes the game. So listen to the entire thing. Then you have to pause for 3 seconds before responding. And why 3 seconds? Why not 4 or 5? Why not 1 second? Well, 3 seconds is a good number. Firstly, I like the number 3. It's a good sense of not too long and not too short. The 3 seconds allows you to digest what they're saying, let them believe that you've listened to them, and hopefully you have, and then respond. And if you wait too long, it lingers too much, and perhaps they think you don't know what you're doing. So pause for 3 seconds before responding. And in that 3 seconds, the great thing is you're going to be able to breathe. You're going to learn how to remain calm and not get defensive. And this will calm the other person down too. When you're remaining calm and not defensive, you're acknowledging their point. Because you've listened to what they've said, you're acknowledging what they're saying, and you're actually going to state back their point. But you might still not understand what they're really saying. So you have to meet their objection with a question in order to clarify. Because they've obviously got a concern about this. They've got an objection. So you need to clarify it so you've got it right in your mind, so you're not answering a general FAQ type thing that you might have in front of you. Once you've clarified it, rephrase the criticism in your own language to make sure that you are both agreed. This helps to tie in the language that they're using and the language you're using so that it meets in the middle. And then finally, you're going to answer the criticism with 3 possible solutions, because people love choice. They don't like to feel like they're boxed in. And when you have choice, that really helps to know that people are still kind of in control. And choices help us, even if you look at the sort of pricing tiers for providers that you might be using, if you're using Sky or internet providers or mobile phone companies, they'll show you on their pages that they've got different levels of maybe memory, if we're talking about gigabytes, based on how much minutes you've got, how much internet usage you're going to use per month, etc., etc. Choice is great. People love choice and they don't like to be boxed in. And so if you come up with a solution that tells them which one helps them solve their problem, people love choice. So this is the 5-step diffusing process. It's plain to see, plain as light. First thing is to listen. 2 is to pause and acknowledge the criticism. 3 is to remain calm and gain clarity. 4 is to rephrase it, and 5 is to present the solution, close or omit or go on to the next step. Listen, pause, because people do tend to listen with the intent to reply and not to understand. Clarify, rephrase, and then give the solution. So that's it. At the end, you should have a solution available to them that is a win-win solution. They should feel like not only are they going away with a solution that helps them, but they're not also doing you out of a deal either. It has to feel mutually beneficial for both parties in order for you to walk away and for them to walk away with a positive aura about the whole situation. So that's how you overcome objections quickly, 5 steps. And the reason why I want to share that with you today is because in my speaking to influence course, these are some of the techniques I teach, just one of many that helps you to influence people. And I'm not talking about influencing so you feel scummy at the end or they feel like they've been outdone. It's like Wolf of Wall Street or whatever. It's much more surrounded around you being the consultant, the person that helps them to get to that end point, to solve that itch, that problem that they've been having. You're filling in that gap. And I use different techniques and tools, some visual, some very much verbal, that helps you to come to that conclusion and helps you to really connect with people. Because essentially, the thing about sales is it's not about selling things to people that they don't want. It's about solving a problem. And sometimes at the end of the conversation, if you find you can't solve a problem for that person based on the product and service you are offering to them, that's okay. You've had a great conversation with somebody. And if you frame it like that, every call that you're having, then it comes off much more nicer and easier for you to be able to move on. And why am I talking about sales and it's public speaking? Because essentially, the way we speak to others, the way we influence each other, the way we touch people's lives when we interact with them is public speaking. And I think it can become very much like one to many without touching any. And that's not the case. Every person, every word that you're hitting touches somebody in one way or the other, whether it be a negative connotation or a positive one. Your words are powerful. So when you speak to influence, you always win when you're helping them win too.